days a day, a bad luck's always coming my way.
For today's Grimm adventure, we find ourselves in Chicago, seeking out the filming locations to the movie Poltergeist 3. This giant building that's behind us, this is the Hancock building here, but in the movie, this is where Carol Ann and her family lived. This was Bruce Gardner's building where he worked and where he lived. And the majority of the movie took place right here.
Help me make breakfast?
Yeah, I'd love to. Come on. Okay, we got eggs, sausage, bacon. What'll it be?
Toastums.
Oh, no.
I cook, you set the table.
How's Carol Ann?
I don't know. How would you feel if some quack told you you had supernatural powers? How do you feel deep down inside? One word.
I don't know. Well, lonely maybe.
Able to create some sort of mass hysteria?
It's more like mass hypnosis. Oh, it's a great act. Carol Ann creates the fire and
You made this happen. You made her talk about him. You made her remember him. He was lost. Can you feel the cold? He's devouring the heat, the energy.
I'm going to count to 3, Carol Ann. And when I snap my fingers, you will awaken. 1, 2, 3.
Now before we go up inside the building, let's talk about a few different things. The building on the left and the building on the right is where they filmed the movie. They kind of did a little bit of Hollywood movie magic. We're going to point a lot of that out. But the Hancock building, the building on the left, there's an observation deck up there at the very top, the 94th floor. And that is where we are going. It's a beautiful, cold day here in the Windy City. You ready, baby girl?
No.
I know you don't like heights, so we got this. We got this. I don't know, baby girl. I feel like it's very fitting that we're here during the Christmas season. But in we go, up to the observation deck. I'm excited.
Cafe for a coffee or cocktail. Be sure to mention who got you up in record time.
How's it feel being this high up?
I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah?
The elevator ride I did not enjoy at all. Had a little
40 seconds straight up.
anxiety, yeah. But this is very pretty.
Pretty much at the top of the world in Chicago, at the observation deck for the Hancock building. This is where they filmed the opening scenes. Well, where you can see the opening scenes to Poltergeist 3. It's pretty much a 360-degree turn up here, looking at the ocean, the skyline. But what we want is way over here. Be able to line up some shots where Carol Ann is looking out the window and she sees the window washer. Man, this is cool. I've been wanting to come here pretty much all my life, since I first saw Poltergeist 3. I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but the wind is wisping through this portion of the observation deck. It's like this open air portion of it. It's pretty freaking wild. I mean, just on the other side of this screen is freaking downtown Chicago. You can reach out and touch it. In order to get the shot that we need from Poltergeist 3, we have to go over to this corner that overlooks pretty much all of downtown.
Ooh, the heat coming
It's
off
hot
the
up here,
window?
right?
Yeah, wow.
So the opening shot of Poltergeist 3 is of Carol Ann sitting on her bed looking out the window watching a man wash the windows. And behind him, you can see the skyline of Chicago. More importantly, that building right there. He activates a button and then he starts lowering down the side of the building. It's kind of a creepy, pretty surreal scene. For the very next scene, whenever they show Carol Ann looking out the window, down at the window washer as he turns, they actually move to the other side of the building for this view. I'll show you what I mean. It's kind of cool. It's from this spot right here where you can see the window washer going down as he turns, looking right up at Carol Ann. Man, I can't believe I'm standing here. In the movie Poltergeist 3, mirrors and reflective surfaces play a very important part of the story. The very next scene, Carol Ann is startled by her mother coming into her room. It's like a wall of mirrors. She comes in, there's this little speak and spell scene that they do with the word parakeet, and then they get ready for school. And this is where you start to see the rest of the building where they live here in Chicago.
Can you spell parakeet?
Parakeet. B-I-R-D. Wrong.
Wrong answer is.
All right, let's pan the camera up the building, the Hancock building from Poltergeist 3. And you'll see that this is the building that they used for the movie poster. They changed it a little bit. You can see those braces, the metal braces. You can't see those in the poster. But from right about here is where the poster is. And in the poster you can see the lightning, because the very last shot, the very last scene of Poltergeist 3, lightning strikes and you can hear Kane laughing. When it comes to Poltergeist 3, we know that they filmed inside the Hancock building. And when they show the opening scenes, we know that there is 2 different angles. So a little bit of movie magic there. Also, in the actual movie, the building that they live in, they live up on a pretty top floor. I don't remember which floor it is or if they say what it is. But when they go downstairs when they're getting ready to school, they're trying to catch the carpool minivan, they come down through a mall. So those are supposed to be the bottom floors, but in all actuality, the mall itself with the escalators is across the street. Now the Hancock building is off to your left-hand side, but that one, again, that's on the right. Remember we showed it when we were walking through the snowflakes? It's called the Water Tower Plaza. That's where the mall scenes were filmed. Would you look at that? It looks almost exactly as it did back when they made Poltergeist 3. Oh, of course, the stores change, but the railing that Jessica has her hand on, those giant silver tubes, whatever you want to call it, the railing, those are still the same. And then the escalators, see how it kind of like zigzags going up? That's cool.
Our 50 elevators will be carrying approximately 12,000 passengers a day, swiftly and conveniently to our many shops, offices, condominiums, and restaurants.
After running through the building and down the escalators, they come right out these doors right here. It's a very quick scene.
How are you? Fine. Oh, I'm so glad. It's hotter than hell out here. There they are.
And then they see the minivan, they spot the minivan coming from down the street, and then they run across a series of storefront windows. That's all these right here.
Helen! Helen! Look, it's not Donna and her yucky little cousins. They're late again.
Cool it, Marcy.
And where the van actually pulls up, You see where those red awnings are? It's that street right there, so right around the corner.
Hi, Donna.
Scott?
In the movie, they came out the side entrance, and what you're looking at right now on the left-hand side of the screen is the main entrance to the Hancock building. But to get the shot where the minivan pulls up, this is it right here. Now again, in the movie, those red awnings weren't here. But if I zoom in a little bit, I want to point out a few different things. The first one being, you can see that door in the movie, and it's still here today, so we know we're in the right spot. But you also see this little black area over here that has a sign. Well, it used to say parking. If you look very closely, there's a silver car. There's cars lining up to go down into the parking garage underneath the building. Again, that's where the mall scenes were filmed, the escalators.
Hi, Donna.
Scott?
Now this next bit happens real quick. So quick, in fact, if you blink, you're gonna miss it. But after she puts the kids in the minivan, she turns around and she hears thunder and she looks up at the building. But real quickly, you can see this yellow curb and that red fire hydrant. Just real quick. And then we get a shot of her looking up at the building from right about here. Now the crazy thing about this, you see the square lamppost? It's still the same. It hasn't changed. In the movie, Nancy Allen is coming up an escalator. She's going to her art gallery. Now, you're gonna have to really look at this. But you see this little portion of the wall right here? Real quickly, as she's coming up this exact escalator, you can see that.
In fact, I like to think we are a city. A safe, efficient metropolis that will take us into the 21st century.
And her gallery is right over here. Now it's just a store window, storefront window, but this is it. That purple sign to the left, it said Patricia Wilson Gardner Gallery. And where Jessica's standing, this is where she walked right into. Pretty neat how they set dress everything, right? I mean, this could have been a store all by itself back in the day, and then they changed it around.
Looks like it was, because this definitely doors used to be here.
It's also inside this gallery where we get a little glimpse into something not exactly being what it seems. Patricia is sitting and she hears Kane call out her name, Patricia, then Trish. And then you see the reflection, not the actual sculptor, but the reflection. Again with the reflections, the head turns and looks at her and you watching the movie. Poltergeist 3 came out in 1988. It's still really cool to see that a lot of this is still here. Repurposed, if you will. A lot of things have changed. But for the most part, you can come and visit all of these locations. Look how beautiful this church is right across the street from the Hancock building. Now, in the movie, when they're all in the minivan on their way to school, Carol Ann, she's looking out the window, and in the reflection, she sees Kane looking back at her. And you can see the archway that connects that one building on the left to the church in the reflection as well. Let's go across the street, get a better look at that archway. Because there's like these, the ivy all along the building. It's kind of cool to look at. Yeah, this is a really beautiful church.
So you coming to my party tonight?
It kind of looks like you're walking into a secret garden, doesn't it? Let's go back there and take a look. Man, this is something else. Wow. I got chills, baby girl. The hair on my My arms and the back of my neck is just standing up. Look how beautiful this is. I feel like I gotta back up to just kind of take it all in. At the start of the movie, since they're on their way to school, it only makes sense that we show you both schools, the elementary school and the high school. And fun fact, they're actually not that far from the Hancock building, so it makes sense both in the movie and real life. In the movie, Carol Ann's school is the Seton School, and while they're in the minivan, we find out that her friends, well, in the carpool, call it the Seton School for Weirdos.
How come you go to the Seton School for weirdos? It's for smart kids, not weirdos.
And that's right down this road right here. It's a beautiful road. Different, they call these houses brownstones, right?
In New York they do. I don't know if it's the same type of thing, but it's similar.
But that's this building right over here on the left-hand side. And once we get over here to the entry gate, it'll start to make sense. We're gonna line up shots. Right about here. In fact, right about here is where they put the school plaque.
There she is. Yeah, okay.
The camera would have been set up right about here. Again, you would have seen that plaque right on that center column and all the kids standing in front of the gate as well as up there on the steps whenever Carol Ann and the minivan pull up. As the minivan pulls up, one of the little boys runs down and crouches right about where Jessica is. And as Carol Ann opens the door, he jumps out at her and says,
Boo! Seen any ghosts lately?
and then she rolls her eyes. It's a fun scene.
You're so déclassé.
Thank you, Mrs. Moyer.
Boo! Seen any ghosts lately? Rawr!
You're so déclassé.
We now find ourselves just outside of Scott and Donna's school, and for the most part, the windows still look the same. Now, when the minivan pulls in, you can see that it's a turnaround. Right now, we're standing at the exit. But this is a perfect spot to take a look at where they filmed, because right about the center of your screen, just on the other side of this gate, let's see, right about there is where the minivan stops and they get out. Now, to give you a bit of an idea where we are, not too far down the street is Lincoln Park. Now, when they get out of the minivan, Scott and Donna, they exchange a few different words, and you can see this building in the background. It says Parkview Pet Shop, which is for Lincoln Park. But the little girl, she's in the minivan, she leans out and she says, "What, baby girl?"
Oh, Scott, my knight in shining acne.
Donna, I'm really sorry you're not coming to the party. I kind of hoped you were.
Oh, Scott, my knight in shining acne.
Marcy, shut up and leave them alone.
Right now we're standing at the lower level of the parking structure for a place known as the Mid-America Plaza, about 40 minutes away from the Hancock building in downtown Chicago. You see this parking structure a couple different times in the movie, but one of those times is one of the most terrifying moments in the entire movie, Poltergeist 3. Something that we just watched it to make sure that we were in the right spot, and I was getting chills. Like, it's terrifying. In this scene, Scott and Donna see Carol Ann running through the parking garage on the monitors, and they run after her. Now, once they get out of the elevator, they hear her screaming, and they turn the corner. This is the ramp that goes down to the puddle that Carol Ann was being pulled into. This is terrifying. Now I'm going to get a little closer and I'm going to line up shots so you can see what I'm talking about. But this is it. I can't believe we found this.
Oh, shit.
angel who can lead us into the light. We would never hurt you.
From about this shot right here, you can see those 3 columns on the left-hand side of the screen, as well as those 2 yellow columns down there blocking that box so cars don't hit it. Now in this scene, Carol Ann, she's backing up down this ramp. Kane is calling out to her, and she backs up into a puddle in her pajamas, and that's when the hands come up and try to pull her down in. And you know what this means, baby girl, right? One of us has to go stand down there where the puddle was. And since I'm the one holding the camera, you got to go stand where the puddle once stood.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Jessica. Jessica. Now, come on. If you're watching this and you're a fan of Poltergeist 3, you can't tell me that you wouldn't kill to be standing right here.
I feel like she kind of walks here and then turns around looking, and that's when she starts backing up, right?
Right? And right about there.
Right about here?
She feels the water on her pajamas. She's wearing like a onesie,
pajamas.
the booted
It's a onesie,
pajamas.
yeah.
She looks down, and that's whenever the puddle opens up.
Let me out! Let me out!
And then whenever Donna and Scott come, they come running down.
Right down there, yeah.
That ramp, and they pull her up. Man, this is cool.
It is freezing down here, by the way. It's the weather plus the sounds and the echo make it extremely eerie.
You know what's funny?
I'm unnerved.
I wonder why they chose to film this here. I mean, they had 2 parking structures, the Hancock building and then the mall right next to it, that they could have done anything with. But yet they came all the way out here to do this.
Maybe this one is less traffic.
Yeah, maybe.
So they're able to get it empty without needing a whole bunch of permits in the city.
Yeah, or it could just be they're looking for something like this. I mean, we walked through the parking garages there looking for this.
Doesn't look like this at all.
Yeah, doesn't look like it at all. Like this is creepy.
Yeah.
This same parking garage can be seen towards the end of the movie when Tom Skerritt and Nancy Allen are being chased around the parking garage and there's snow and ice and everywhere. And you also see Kane again. He's in one of the cars and they scream out, "What do you want?" And he says in his creepy voice, "You."
Who are you? What do you want? You!
That all took place right here. Pretty wild, right? I know I say that a lot, but I love this stuff. I love these little adventures. And with that being said, thank you for joining us on another Grimm adventure, this time visiting the filming locations to Poltergeist 3 in Chicago, Illinois. Did you have a blast?
I can see my breath.
It is cold.
It's very cold.
Until
It's
next
so much
time,
fun though.
happy Halloween.
Rawr.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. A bad luck's always coming my way.